You felt it, didn't you? That strange pressure behind your ribs. The restless stirring that refused to be silenced. The shadow that clung to your dreams. Not of darkness, but of urgency. You couldn't name it. You didn't know where it came from, but it wouldn't leave you alone. And now you know why. Heaven is trying to reach you. Not through a thunderstorm, not through a fire in the sky, but through something far more ordinary and far more terrifying. A phone call. A single ring. Not just any ring. This one will split your reality in half. It will not come at a convenient time. It will not arrive during peace. It will come when your guard is down. It will interrupt something, your plans, your routine, maybe even your sense of safety. And when it comes, you must answer. You must listen, not just with your ears, but with your soul. Because this isn't just about a hospital. This isn't just about a patient. This isn't even about medicine. This is about you. Yes, you. The one reading this message. The one who's been feeling something approaching. The one who keeps seeing signs but has been too afraid to ask what they mean. Heaven has been holding back this moment for as long as possible. But now the delay is over. The truth is pressing forward like water behind a dam. And the call is the crack in the wall. It's coming. It starts with a whisper. You won't hear sirens. You won't see flashing lights. You'll hear a voice on the phone. A voice that trembles, as if it knows it is the first ripple of a coming storm. This is the hospital. Those words will change everything. Not because someone died, but because someone survived, and that someone was sent to you. You were meant to meet them weeks ago. The timing was written in the stars. But something or someone intervened. An accident? Maybe. But some things feel too calculated to be called coincidence. Now they lie in a room where machines keep rhythm with breath. But don't be fooled. This is not just a medical condition. It's a spiritual crisis disguised as a health emergency. And you are at the center of it. Archangel Michael is watching. He has been standing between what was meant for you and what tried to stop it. And now he is stepping back. Not because he is leaving, but because you must now move forward. There's a name they kept whispering. Your name. Again and again between shallow breaths. Not to doctors. Not to family. To heaven. And heaven heard. A nurse leaned in. A doctor wrote it down. A message was passed from hand to hand. Quietly. Reverently. Because even they could feel it. There is something sacred happening here. Not everyone can see it. But you can. You were marked for this moment. There is a document under their pillow. It's old. Worn. Folded with trembling fingers. And your name is written across it. Plain, deliberate, undeniable. No one has opened it. Not yet. They were instructed to wait. Why? Because what's inside that letter could destroy everything or heal what no one else could. It's not just paper. It's a confession, a prophecy, a turning point sealed in ink and wrapped in fear. They couldn't give it to you before. Not while secrets were still stronger than truth. But now the veil is tearing. And that's why the phone is going to ring. You weren't imagining things. That restlessness, that spiritual tension, the dreams that didn't make sense. The timing of strange encounters. The sense that someone was thinking of you, needing you but couldn't get through. All of it was real. You were feeling the pull of this very moment. The staff were given orders. They were told not to reveal everything. Not unless you came. Not unless you responded. That's how delicate this is. That's how divine it is. And now, the heavens are silent no longer. But be warned, this is not just a call of comfort. It is a call to battle. There are forces, unseen but very real, that did not want you to receive what is coming. They worked in whispers, in delays, in doubt. They tried to discredit this person. They tried to silence them. They made them afraid to tell you the truth. And yet, they chose silence to protect you, even when it cost them everything. You may be tempted to feel anger when you learn what they held back. But listen to me, look deeper. What they did was not out of cowardice, but out of love. They feared you wouldn't believe them. They feared you'd walk away. And so they waited. But now, destiny refuses to be delayed. There is suspicion. A doctor has raised concerns. Not everything about this hospitalization adds up. Something feels wrong. A quiet investigation has begun. But your voice is needed. Your presence is the final piece. You carry a key, one you didn't even know you held. Only by showing up will the next door open. Only by listening will the truth be revealed. Only by reading that letter will the storm settle. So when the phone rings, don't ignore it. Don't delay it. Don't silence it. Answer, not just with your voice, but with your courage. Because something holy is unfolding, and heaven is waiting for your yes. You answered, and the moment you did, time slowed. The voice on the other end was calm, but not casual. Controlled, but not cold. You could feel the weight behind their words before they even spoke your name. There was a pause, a kind of sacred silence. Then came the sentence that rearranged the atmosphere around you. There's something you need to know. You sat down without realizing. Your breath held itself hostage. You felt that strange sensation again. Not fear, not quite, but a kind of trembling that starts in the soul and works its way out to the skin. They didn't start with a medical report. They didn't lead with the test results. They began with a whisper. The nurse had heard it. Your name, repeated with urgency and fading strength. You were the one they asked for, the one they called out to. Not family, not friends, just you. And that's when everything changed. They left something behind. That's what the doctor said. Not in the will, not in the medical chart, but under the pillow. It was folded, wrapped in cloth, tied with trembling fingers, hidden in plain sight, protected, not forgotten. They handed it to you when you arrived. No one else was allowed to touch it. They didn't know what it meant, but they knew it was yours. The moment it left their hands, something stirred in the room. A shift you couldn't explain, but felt in your chest. It wasn't just paper. It carried weight, spiritual, emotional, prophetic weight. You hesitated. Your fingers trembled before you even untied the knot. Because deep down, you already knew. This wasn't just a message. It was a confession, a final attempt at redemption. A sacred truth hidden in fear and sealed with hope. The first line broke you. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was real. I don't know if you'll ever forgive me, but I had to write this before it was too late. You stopped breathing for a moment. Your heart split open between past wounds and present wonder. They had written everything they never said aloud. All the apologies, all the reasons, all the moments they replayed in silence. It wasn't just words. It was pain on paper, raw, unfiltered, vulnerable, and they had addressed it to you. They were followed. That's what the doctor whispered when they pulled you aside. There were details that didn't add up. Injuries inconsistent with the story. Fear in the patient's eyes when a certain visitor arrived. And now, that visitor had vanished. Disappeared. No forwarding contact. No full name on file. Only one clue remained. A coded phrase scrawled on the back of the letter. If anything happens, tell them the truth wasn't an accident. Who wrote that? Why? Why now? You're being watched, not just by those around you, but by heaven itself. This moment is not just for discovery. It is for decision. What will you do with the truth? Will you carry it? Will you run from it? Because once you know what was kept from you, what was done behind closed doors, there is no going back to ignorance. And heaven knows you were never meant to stay blind. You were born for confrontation, not violence, but clarity. You were called to break generational curses, not just survive them. This is your moment of alignment. Even if it breaks you first, there is more in the envelope. Photos, old ones you've never seen, ones with you in the background. Someone had been watching you from afar, long before you ever knew they existed. Tickets, unsent. They had planned to meet you, tried, multiple times, but something always stopped them. Blocked them, diverted them, interfered. It wasn't just coincidence. It was spiritual warfare. Now the warfare has reached the surface. It can't hide in the shadows anymore, and neither can the truth. The nurse tells you a story. She's been working in hospitals for over 20 years. She's seen thousands of cases, but she's never seen a patient pray like this one. Not for healing, not for comfort, but for you, every night, without fail. She heard your name whispered between shallow breaths. She said they cried, not out of pain, but out of guilt. They felt like they failed you, she said, but they never stopped believing in you. There's a code written at the end of the letter. At first, it doesn't make sense. Just 5 numbers. You almost toss it aside until you remember. Those numbers are coordinates. You plug them in. They lead to a location, one not far from here. A storage unit, registered to no one, rented in cash, under a false name. You suddenly realize this isn't just about what's been hidden. It's about what's been waiting. Archangel Michael has not left. He's still watching, still guarding, still speaking. Only now, the battle is no longer unseen. It's personal, and you're the last one standing between what was lost and what can still be found. You sit beside their bed. They stir. Their eyelids flutter. Machines beep softly, like a rhythm sent from eternity. You speak their name. Once. Twice. Their lips move. No sound. Just a tear slipping down their cheek. And then they mouth one final phrase. Please forgive them. Not me. Them. The ones who caused this. The ones who took what wasn't theirs. The ones who tried to erase the truth. You feel rage rise in your chest. But above it, something holier rises too. Purpose. This isn't the end. It's the beginning. And now the pieces are forming into a shape you recognize. A spiritual mystery wrapped in a hospital room. A betrayal buried beneath medical charts. A divine appointment that no demon could prevent, only delay. But delay is over now. And the next chapter is calling. Louder than machines. Deeper than grief. Heavier than silence. You were chosen to finish what they could not. You were marked to uncover what others try to bury. And now, destiny awaits your response. The time has come. You've read the letter. You've heard the voice. Now you must walk into the mystery and see what heaven has hidden for such a time as this. You never thought coordinates could carry such weight. But here you are, standing outside a cold steel door, staring at the numbers engraved into the side of a forgotten storage unit. The numbers from the letter. The ones they scribbled with shaking hands before slipping into silence. You hold the key they left behind. It feels heavy, not in your hand, but in your soul. You know something's waiting for you behind that door. Not just objects, not just history, but the next revelation, the next unraveling, the next confirmation that this isn't just life, it's a war for truth. You slide the key in. It turns with a slow click. The lock breaks. The door groans open, and everything inside starts to speak. Dust covers the sacred. Boxes neatly stacked, labeled with dates. Some yellow by time, some sealed with red wax. On the first box, your name. Not handwritten, typed, deliberate, labeled with care. It's more than strange. It's prophetic. You weren't supposed to find this by accident. You were meant to find it by timing. Heaven's timing. Because what's inside isn't just meant to inform you. It's meant to awaken you. You reach into the box. Inside is a notebook, leather-bound, weathered, yet preserved like something holy. You open it to the first page, and the first sentence shatters the air around you. I knew I had to tell you one day, but the truth would destroy me first. You sink to the floor. The room fades. Only the words remain. The pages hold their secrets. They are not casual entries. They are testimonies, journals of torment and hope, detailed records of attempts, failed and delayed, to reach you, stories of betrayal, moments of spiritual warning, letters they wrote and tore apart. They knew something was after you, something dark, something ancient. It didn't want them to speak. It didn't want you to see. And it certainly didn't want this day to ever arrive. But now it has, and it's too late for darkness to stop it. You are already awakening. A name keeps appearing. At first, you think it's random. But by the 10th time, you realize it's a thread. You pull it. It leads to a photo. A man, well-dressed, smiling, but not innocent. This is the one the doctor warned you about. The visitor who vanished. The one whose presence darkened the hospital room like a shadow without a source. This man is not just part of the past. He's part of the system that tried to silence it. And now you're going to find him. But before you do, another item. Beneath the notebooks, beneath the layers of paper, is a small wooden box. Locked, but not to you. You try the same hospital key, and it clicks open. Inside is a ring. Gold. Simple. Etched with something in Latin. You don't speak Latin. But something in your spirit understands it. It says, what was broken will be rebuilt. Tears fall before you can stop them. Because somewhere deep down, something you didn't know was fractured begins to heal. You leave the storage unit changed. Not just informed, but initiated. You carry more than answers now. You carry assignment. This isn't about solving a mystery anymore. It's about restoring a legacy. You understand it now. They weren't just sick. They were targeted. They weren't just afraid. They were trying to protect something sacred. You, your destiny, and the gift they never got to give. The nurse calls again. You answer with a different spirit. No longer confused. No longer shaken. Now, you're determined. Her voice quivers. They're awake, she says. They're asking for you. You don't wait. You run. Through hallways that echo with prophecy. Past faces that look the other way. Until you reach the room where heaven last whispered. They look at you. Eyes tired, but lit with recognition. They try to speak, but you already know. You take their hand. You place the ring on their finger. And you say it out loud. We're not finished. I see it now. And I won't let them erase you. They cry. Not because of pain, but because you finally see. And seeing is more powerful than believing. Because seeing makes you responsible. And you accept it. With your whole heart. Later that night, another letter arrives. Not from the hospital. Not from the person you visited. From a lawyer. Sealed and marked time-sensitive. Inside, a legal document. Property transfer. An inheritance. A sealed trust. In your name. Signed by the person in the hospital. Dated 3 months before the incident. They were preparing something. They were trying to ensure you had what you needed before someone else could stop them. And now, it's all yours. But there's a catch. There's a clause. You must visit one more location. A place neither hospital nor storage unit. A chapel. Old. Abandoned. Once owned by your family. Now forgotten. Until today. You close the letter. You look out the window. And something in your chest says, this isn't over. Not even close. Because you just opened the door to what heaven really intended. And the next part? It won't just be about uncovering. It will be about confronting. What hurt you? What stole from you? What tried to bury the truth? But it's too late now. The truth is rising. And you're no longer afraid. You're ready to see it all. To hear it all. To finish what was started, no matter what it costs. The wind shifts as you approach the chapel. It doesn't whisper like before, it groans. As if it, too, remembers. As if the wood, the bricks, the glass, all carry the memory of prayers once uttered and battles once fought in silence. You stand in front of it now. Old, forgotten, cracked like something left out in a storm too long. And yet, there's something sacred here. The kind of sacred that doesn't shine. It sits. It waits. And it only awakens when someone returns with truth in their hands. Today, that someone is you. You hold the letter. You hold the key. And now, the past is ready to open. The doors creak, open like an exhale from another century. Dust dances in the air like lost spirits, finally noticing they are seen. The light filters through broken stained glass, red, blue, and gold, painting your face in colors long forgotten. And there, at the center of the sanctuary, lies what you came for. A pulpit, a small chest beneath it, a journal atop it. You walk forward, slowly, reverently, not out of fear, but knowing. Knowing you were meant to be here. That your feet are walking paths your ancestors paved in prayer. That you are standing in a place your family tried to protect, but never had time to explain. The journal is hand-stitched. The ink faded but still legible. You read the name on the cover. It's the same name from the hospital documents. The same name whispered through dreams. The one they told you not to trust. But now you see the truth. They weren't the liar. They were the witness. Inside the pages, history unfolds like prophecy, except it's not distant or mythical. It's yours. Stories of how your bloodline was marked. How promises were made. How enemies crept in, not with swords, but with signatures. Deals. Betrayals. Cover-ups. They didn't just try to steal property. They tried to steal inheritance. The divine kind. The eternal kind. The kind that passes through generations and awakens in the one who finally dares to break the curse. That one is you. You find a family tree, but it's not what you expected. Your name is there, but it's circled, and next to it, a word, returner. Your fingers freeze. Your breath catches. You turn the page and see it, a prophecy written in your ancestor's hand. One will rise from among the forgotten. The one who was delayed will become the one who delivers. Where silence was planted, their voice will bloom. Where truth was buried, they will dig with fire in their hands. And in their arrival, what was lost will return. You are not just uncovering history. You are fulfilling prophecy. You open the chest. Inside, a box within a box. Sealed, unlabeled. You almost hesitate, but your spirit says now is the time. You lift the lid, and inside are keys, old ones, to places no longer mapped. And beneath them, photographs, letters, and a map, but not a city map, a spiritual grid. It outlines sacred locations, places of prayer, points of betrayal, sites where agreements were made and broken. And in red ink, one location is circled. Your hospital, your storage unit, and now this chapel, all on the same axis, all part of something far bigger. You trace the red line. It leads to one final destination, a place you haven't yet visited. A house. A name is written next to it, the one who watched. Suddenly, your phone vibrates. Unknown number. You answer. It's the nurse again, but her voice isn't calm. It's shaken. There was an attempt last night, she says. Someone tried to access their room. You feel the rage rise, but beneath it a knowing. This isn't coincidence. This is opposition, because the enemy always tries to destroy the truth right before it reaches the light. You ask if the patient is safe. They're shaken, but they're still asking for you, the nurse says. They said something before falling asleep. What? You ask. Her voice lowers. They said, tell them the watcher has a face, and the face knows they're coming. You freeze. The watcher, the house, the final address on the map. It's not just a place. It's a confrontation. And now you must decide. Will you go, or will you delay again? You choose to go, because now you understand the weight of what you carry. You're no longer just a curious heart. You are a spiritual executor, carrying out the will of heaven, fulfilling the last requests of the one who trusted you most, and exposing the enemy who thought they erased it all. Before you leave the chapel, you kneel, not because you were told to, but because you finally understand the cost of silence, the cost of delay. And now, your soul vows, I will not run. I will not be late. I will not let darkness rewrite what God already wrote in blood and light. You rise, and you walk out, not just with keys, not just with maps, but with divine clarity. You are not just part of the story anymore. You are the continuation. And as you leave, a shadow moves behind the stained glass. It watches. It whispers. But this time it flees, because it sees something behind you. A sword, a light, an angel. Archangel Michael is with you, still watching, still guarding, still ready. Because what's coming next is no longer about uncovering. It is about confronting, and you're no longer afraid. You are chosen, anointed, sent, and the one who watched will now be seen.